Okay, welcome everybody tonight to our October Town Board meeting, October 7th. First order of business, we stand and do the pledge. I'll ask Councilman Bedetti to lead us in the pledge. He's got a flag there. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you to the town clerk for leading us. Okay, let's see who's with us tonight. We have our town board, Andrew Riggenbaum, Steve Moreau, Sylvia Santiago, Stephen Bedetti, our town clerk, Kelly Allegra. We have Patrick Mangan from our IT department, and we have Katrina Rappa from the supervisor's office who will be handling any inquiries that come across on the internet, and I am, unfortunately, George Myers. So, first order of business is a public hearing. It's a proposed local law to override the tax levy limit established by the general municipal law, section 3C. What this is every year we have to do this because the state requires it, and the tax limit this year is 1.56%. So it's going to be a whole bunch of municipalities going to have a hard time meeting that. Used to be that the taxpayers would get a check from the state or from the school, and it doesn't happen anymore. They canceled that a few years ago. So that's not part of this. So this is just to, if we have to override the tax limit, we have to hold a public hearing. So is there anyone in the public who would like to speak to this? I'll wait a minute in case someone has an inquiry. Okay, any board member want to speak to this before I close the public hearing?
No,
Okay.
sir.
Did I hear somebody? No. Okay, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing in the matter of proposed local law entitled a local law to override the tax levy limit established in general municipal law, section 3C. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Moreau?
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, pursuant to section 3C5 of the New York State General Municipal Law, adopt a local law attached hereto entitled Local Law to Override the Tax Levy Limit Established in the General Municipal Law, section 3C. This local law would permit the Town of New Windsor to adopt a budget that exceeds the tax levy limit prescribed by the New York State General Municipal Law, section 3C, for the fiscal year commencing on January 1st, 2021. The board further directs the town clerk to publish said local law pursuant to law. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Moreau?
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago?
Yes.
Supervisor Myers?
Yes. Okay, the next item on the agenda is another public hearing, and this is the proposed local law amending Chapter 280 of the Town Code, Town of Windsor, vehicle and traffic, main arteries of travel, stop signs, and no parking signs. What has happened, we've had inquiries from residents requesting some stop signs and some no parking signs. So the stop signs, there were three-way stop signs that were on Valley Drive, Lakeview Road, Walsh Road, Cedar Avenue, Independence Drive, Red Coat Drive, Independence Drive, McKinley Court, Independence Drive, and Reavers Run. And then there were several no parking signs that people requested on Cross Street, Cedar Lane, Broad Street, Oris Street, Cedar Avenue, Epiphany Drive, Browning Road, Reed Street, Raz Avenue, Panorama Drive, John Paul Jones Lane, Red Coat Drive, Pioneer Trail, Liberty Ridge, Independence Drive, Mount Airy Road, and Butternut Drive. So what the board does when we get these inquiries from, let me mute that. When the board gets these inquiries from residents, we send it to the police department, and they have their traffic unit make recommendations to the board, and they have made some recommendations that these signs that I just read, that they be placed. And we're required by law to hold a public hearing to see if anyone has any comments about this. So once again, I'll wait a minute or so to see if anybody wants to comment on these three-way stop signs and no parking signs that the police department has recommended we approve.
Anybody from the public on the call that want to speak, just unmute and go ahead now.
Okay, so guessing that there is no comments, and these are the signs, so we'll make some motions to get these done. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning the adoption of amendments to section 280-5C and 288A of the Town Code of Town of Windsor, entitled Vehicle and Traffic, Main Arteries of Travel, and No Parking on Certain Streets, respectively. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Moreau,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
yes,
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor hereby adopt the attached local law amending sections 285C and 288A of the Town Code of the Town of Windsor entitled Vehicle and Traffic, Main Arteries of Travel, and No Parking on Certain Streets, respectively pursuant to sections 10 and 11 of Municipal Home Rule Law, and direct the town clerk to publish pursuant to law. Roll call.
Move.
Second.
I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. So that
Councilman
was a
Regenbaum,
roll call, yeah.
Councilman Regenbaum,
We knew what you meant.
Yeah, I'm trying to read it.
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
yes,
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, I'd just like to thank Sergeant Ruger and Patrolman Martin for their effort in reviewing these requests and getting this thing drawn up for the town attorney's office, put it together. All right, the next item on the agenda is comments are allowed on agenda items only. Speakers permitted to speak to up to 3 minutes. This is strictly comments, no question and answer, or discussions will be allowed on any item. So if anybody has any comments they want to make on the agenda items, the agenda's been published online for a couple of days, right, Patrick?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Once again, we'll hold up if anybody wants to make any comments.
Anybody from the public on the call wants to make a comment? Go ahead and unmute.
Okay. So moving right along. Gentlemen, entertaining motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, approve the minutes of the regular Town Board meeting held on September 2nd, 2020, as a copy of those minutes posted on the Town Clerk's bulletin board, the Town Clerk, on the Town Hall, and having distributed each Town Board. Motion?
Move.
second,
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
yes,
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, authorize the supervisor to execute attached amendment and extension of municipal cooperative agreement number 2 to the community development block grant agreement between the Town of Windsor and County Orange. For the additional 6 months through December 31st, 2020, and increasing the available funding by $60,280 for the project known as Old Windsor Road Culvert Replacement. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
yes,
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, this is a community development block grant where we have got an extension on it, and we've also received $60,280 more for the project. This is that Old Windsor Road Culvert Replacement. I'll entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, authorize the supervisor to execute the attached amendment and extension of municipal cooperative agreement number 1 to the community development block grant agreement between the Town of Windsor and County Orange, increasing the available funding by $61,087 for the project known as Hilltop Drainage Improvements, application year 2019, fiscal year 2018. Motion?
move,
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
yes,
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, this is the same as the last motion, and it's a 6-month extension at another $61,087 that we received from the community development block grant for this project, the Hilltop Drainage Project. All right, so receiving file. Town Board, Town of Windsor hereby receives and files the attached petition from Global Companies LLC requesting pursuant to New York State Highway Law, Section 207, the discontinuance and abandonment of a town road commonly known as Verplank Avenue. I'll speak to this in a minute. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, in accordance with the resolution attached hereto and subject to permissive referendum concerning the proposed sale of Verplank Avenue to Global Companies LLC for $65,000 as determined by the sole assessor of the Town of Windsor. Fair market value for the property, consent to the discontinuance and abandonment of Verplank Avenue to take effect immediately upon the filing of the vote with meets and bounds description with the office of town clerk. Motion,
Move.
Second.
roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, I'll speak to this too in 1 minute. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, in accordance with the resolution attached here too, authorize the supervisor to enter into a contract to sell and execute a deed and any and all necessary documents to convey town-owned property commonly known as Verplank Avenue to Global Companies LLC, sum of $65,000, subject to permissive referendum. Motion,
Move.
Second.
roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, this is a, what's known as a paper road. It's down off of River Road, and it's right down by the river. And Global Companies has asked the town if we're willing to sell it. We asked the town assessor to put a number on it. He put a number of $65,000. They have agreed to pay the $65,000. We never use this road. It's not even, it's a paper road. And now this is subject to permissive referendum. If anybody thinks that this is not such a good idea, they could begin a referendum. I'd like to thank the town attorneys, staff for putting that together. Here we receive and file. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor, receive and file with the town clerk the attached irrevocable order of dedication from Wakefield Windsor Development, Inc. to the town of Windsor dated July 9th, 2020, recorded in the Orange County Clerk's Office on the 21st day of September 2020, and Libra 14087 at page 101 for the portion of section 57, block 6, lot 9.2, the balance of Shamar Drive in phase 2 of Wakefield Windsor Development. This is part of a housing development going up, and this has to do with the town taking part of this, and the road will not be taken yet until the other phase is completed. Chair will entertain a motion. Town Board, Town of Windsor hereby authorize the town supervisor to execute the attached full environmental assessment form for the upgrade and improvement of the Cecil's Lane wastewater treatment plant. Declare its intent to name itself lead agency under SEQA, and for review of this action and to direct its engineering consultants to circulate for lead agency pursuant to New York NYCRR Part 617, 6B, 3I, in accordance with the resolution attached here to motion.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, this is the upgrade and expansion of the sewer treatment plant, Caesar's Lane. It's just the beginning of what's to be a long process, a long and expensive process. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor hereby authorize the supervisor to execute a certificate of allocation for 2,880 gallons per day of Majestic sanitary sewer capacity service to 9 dwelling units at Covington Homes LLC, NKA Colonial Gate subdivision identified under the Windsor tax maps as section block and lot 19-1-37, 91-138, 91-39, 98-1-40, 98-1-123, 98-1-117, 98-1-119, and 98-1-120. Motion?
Move.
Second. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, this just allows this subdivision now to apply for a CO. They have been issued one, and now they can apply for the rest of them, be up to the building department from here on out. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor hereby call for a public hearing to be held on the 4th day of November 2020 at 7 PM in the Windsor Town Hall, 555 Union Avenue in Windsor, New York, and authorize the town clerk to advertise for same pursuant to law to hear all persons in Town of Windsor regarding the preliminary 2021 budget. Motion?
Moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, I'll speak to this at the end of the meeting. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor. Appoint to the New Windsor Assessment Board of Review, Alan Scheck, 332 Butternut Drive, New Windsor, New York, 12553. Term shall commence immediately and expire on December 31st, 2023. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. I'd like to thank Alan for volunteering to help the town out on this important Assessment Board of Review. Shall entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, appointed the Windsor Assessment Board of Review, Joseph Kucharia of 31 Ono Lane, New Windsor, New York, 12553. Term shall commence immediately, expire on December 31st, 2024. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, also like to thank Joe for stepping forward and helping us out with this Assessment Board Review. Shall entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, appoint Thomas Hatton, 219 Button Hill Drive, New Windsor, New York, 12553, to the Town of New Windsor Planning Board. Term shall commence immediately, expire on December 31st, 2021. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
For Tom, yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. I'd like to thank Tom for volunteering and helping us out with this. Also, I'd like to mention this point that we have an opening on the planning board for an alternate member, when the alternate member usually moves up to a permanent when one comes. And there's also another opening on Assessment Board of Review. So if anybody who's listening or online with us, send a letter to my office that you'd be interested in this, and we'd gladly reconsider getting you in here. Okay, Chair will entertain a motion. Whereas the past history has shown that Halloween celebration has gone beyond the of ordinary merriment and acceptable pranks, the town police officers have received complaints of violence and vandalism. And whereas the town police officers have been informed of threats of such acts through this period and have informed of the concerns of citizens regarding residing in areas of historically prone to these acts. Now therefore be resolved that the Town Board, Town of Windsor hereby authorize an enactment of a curfew beginning at 6 p.m. Friday, October 30th, 2020, ending at 6 a.m. Monday, November 2nd, 2020. And be it further resolved that such curfew shall apply to all minors, that would be persons under the age of 18, except those traveling to or from bona fide employment, school activity, medical emergency, those in the company of a parent, guardian, person, and local parental. And be it further resolved as follows, that between the hours of 6 p.m. Friday, October 30th, 2020, and 6 a.m. Monday, November 2nd, 2020, all minors as defined herein shall refrain from congregating on public streets, public or private property without the permission of the owner or person in control of that property. 2, all minors as defined herein shall be prohibited from trespassing upon the property of the town of New Windsor between the hours of 6 p.m. Friday, October 30th, 2020, and 6 a.m. Monday, November 2nd, 2020, unless participating in organized event of the town of New Windsor. All persons shall be prohibited from being in possession on any street or public place of shaving cream, eggs, soap, rocks, spray paint, flammable or noxious chemicals, weapons of any kind, or other item that could reasonably be used to cause vandalism or bodily harm at any time during such period. And be it further ordered that any person knowingly violating these orders may be arrested and treated pursuant to the applicable status of the laws of the state of New York. Nothing herein shall be construed to prohibit the normal and lawful travel of any person upon the streets and highways within the town of New Windsor. Motion?
Moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, the board in discussion with the chief of police, Robert Doss, his recommendation was to make this for pretty much the whole weekend, because the history has been when Halloween falls on a Saturday or Friday, we seem to have a lot more police activity. So that's why this has been extended for the whole weekend, and hopefully it'll be a quiet weekend. I've gotten several calls in my office wanting to know about us canceling Halloween. I'm not canceling Halloween. So I guess it's up to the parents if they want to take their child out trick or treat and somebody wants to open the door, then that's up to them. So I don't think we can legislate when they can and can't go on Halloween. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor. Whereas the Town of Windsor is committed to provide its employees with a work environment that is free from all forms of sexual harassment in the workplace. And whereas the Town Board, Town of Windsor, Town Board has caused to be prepared and updated sexual harassment policy applicable to all employees, non-employees, applicants for employment, interns, paid or unpaid, contractors, and in business with the town. Now therefore be resolved that the Town Board, Town of Windsor hereby adopt the attached sexual harassment policy. Motion.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, this sexual harassment policy, we are now in the midst of doing the training, and I'd like to just acknowledge the work that Tony D'Angelo, my office, has done in putting this policy and the training together, and it's just a base that we need to cover, but we are always cognizant of what is going on with our employees. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor shall receive and file the attached sealed bid received in public opened on September 29, 2020 for one 2020 or newer Harley Davidson Electric Glide motorcycle. I'll speak to this in a minute. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, award the bid for one 2020 or newer Harley Davidson Electric Glide motorcycle to Jim Maroney's Inc. in the amount of $27,814, as recommended by McCoy Hauser Etzel Consulting Engineers, DPC, in the attached correspondence dated October 1st, 2020. Motion.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, this is the purchase of a motorcycle, new motorcycle, our police department. We have two. One is in very bad shape and the other one's on its way out. And one of the bikes, someone is interested in buying. It's a BMW bike that we had obtained from the Florida Highway Patrol. So that will help offset the cost of this new bike. So we'll probably won't use this for this until the spring is here, but it certainly helps a lot with our traffic enforcement. Receive and file. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor shall receive and file the attached bids received in public open on September 24th, 2020 for the New Windsor Ambulance Building HVAC project. I'll speak to this in a minute. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor award the bid for the Town of New Windsor Ambulance Building HVAC contract 1M to MDS HVACR Inc. in the amount of $32,600 as recommended by McCoy Hauser Etzel and Consulting Engineers, DPC, in the attached correspondence dated October 1st, 2020. Motion.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, this ambulance building is actually owned by the town itself. The ambulance building, the ambulance people just rent it, and they've been having some issues with the air conditioning there for a while. So we put out the bid, and this was the lowest bid, and hopefully we'll get this done before we get to the spring again. General intent motion, Town of New Windsor hereby authorize the super to execute a developers agreement with DP Stonegate LLC and Little Britain Properties LLC and any and all documents necessary to effectuate said agreement, and upon determining as lead agency that this action is unlisted action, the board further authorizes the supervisor to sign the short environmental assessment form related thereto, indicating such action will not have a significant environmental impact. Motion.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, this is that project up on Countryside, up on McNary and Nina back there that has gone back to its original 81 units that was approved some time ago. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, authorize the super to execute the attached proposal professional services in a total amount of $9,750 plus reimbursables from Mazda Consulting for a speed study along 12 local roadways in the town of New Windsor. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, this particular motion has to do with the town board wanting to lower the speed limits on all town roads to 30 miles per hour. There are several roads on the western end of town that go from 30 to 40 and back again to 30. So we're going to do a little survey to see if it makes sense. And to me, it does make sense, but we'll see what this comes back in. We only control town roads as county roads and state roads. So like Union Avenue is a county road, we have no control of that. The state roads, anything with a number in it, 9W, 32, they're all state roads. We have no control of them, even though they go through our town. We do have control over town roads, and the lowest we can take them is 30 miles per hour, and we're kind of trying to move in that direction. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor, authorize the supervisor to execute agreement between the town of New Windsor and Richard Kroll to provide nuisance wildlife control at the New Windsor landfill for a cost not to exceed $1,300. Said agreement is effective January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021. Motion?
Moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, this is the town landfill where this wildlife sometimes rips up the things out there that cover, so we need to employ this. This guy's been doing it for years. Kroll. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor hereby determines Stewart Hill Industrial Park LLC has failed to meet its burden of demonstrating by clear and convincing evidence, including dollars and cents proof, a right of administrative relief from the temporary moratorium, and in accordance with the resolution annexed hereto, the application is denied. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
What'd you say?
I said yes.
Councilman Monroe,
No.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, authorize the town clerk to publish a display ad in the Orange County Post with reference to both roadway and sidewalk snow removal laws, requesting that residents clear fire hydrants on their property for the fire department. Motion?
Yes. Move.
Yes.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Move. Yes.
Confused you.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor. Whereas the New York State Education Department Board of Regents adopted a new local government retention schedule at its July 2020 meeting, whereas the LGSC number 1 codified in Article 57A of the Arts and Cultural Affairs contains legal minimum retention periods for local government records, and whereas LGS 1 became effective for use by local governments on August 1st, 2020, but must be adopted by a municipality's governing board on or before January 1st, 2021, before it can be applied. Therefore be resolved, Town Board, Town of Windsor, hereby adopt LGS 1 for use by all town officers in legally disposing of valueless records listed therein, and be it further resolved in accordance with Article 57A, only those records will be disposed of that are described in retention and disposition schedule for local government records after they have met minimum retention periods described here therein, and only those records shall be disposed of that do not have sufficient administrative, fiscal, legal, or historical value to merit retention beyond the established legal minimum periods described therein. And be it further resolved, town clerk is hereby directed to circulate a copy of the resolution, a copy of the retention and disposition schedule for the New York local government records to all town of New Windsor department heads. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, this is just something that the town clerk has asked us to pass, and she takes, Clerk Kelly Allegro is in charge of this, and I'm sure she'll do a good job. You'll entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor authorizes solicitor's bid to Hector Mateo, also known as Alpha's Hot Dog and Catering, to operate a mobile food service establishment selling hot dogs, chips, and drinks. Permit shall be obtained from the town clerk's office. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
No.
Councilwoman Santiago,
No.
Supervisor Myers.
No. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor authorizes solicitor Smith to Laura Mason to operate a mobile food service establishment selling gourmet macaroni and cheese, soda, and water. Permit shall be obtained from the town clerk's office. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
No.
Councilwoman Santiago,
No.
Supervisor Myers.
No. All right, another receiving file. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor receive and file the attached notice of claim in the matter of Allstate Insurance Company, ASO, versus the Town of Windsor. This is a notice of claim. Somehow, someone ran into one of our vehicles and is filing a notice of claim against the town. I think they're actually trying to make some kind of deal with the insurance company. We had no fault at all in that. There's another notice of claim received by hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor receive and file the attached notice of claim in the matter of New York City Water Board versus the Town of New Windsor and the Town of New Windsor Consolidated Water District. This is a dispute we're having with the City of New York about the water that we take from them, and since the water that we have to use along with this water is having some issues, we think that someone else should be paying for this, not the town. So they have just filed a notice of claim, and there's some negotiations going on with that, and we'll see where it goes. Another receiving for him, no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor shall receive and file with the town clerk the attached monthly reports for the following departments: Justice Calderon, Justice Myers, Police Department, Building Department, Recreation Department, Tax Receiver, Utility Report, Town Clerk, and the New Windsor Volunteer Ambulance Corps. Just on a couple of these reports, I kind of noticed that the ambulance corps has been very active, and they're on the move pretty much every day. So I'm going to speak about them in a minute, but I think they've been doing a great job. And another thing that caught my eye, I talked about it at the workshop, is that the police department had 11 to 12 arrests for DWI, all in September when all these reports were from. So we have arrested 11 people, and I can assure you that that's not the only 11 people that were out there in this municipality driving around intoxicated. So I just don't understand how people think that this is a great idea with Uber and calling a friend or getting a taxi. They're out there driving, and eventually someone's going to get hurt bad. Okay, that ends that part of it. Now, the next portion of the meeting is a public forum where people can speak to whatever it is they like to speak of. And we'll kind of hold on a couple of minutes to see if anybody wants to either come in by phone or send an email. And then I'll make a couple of comments about the budget. Patrick, anything?
Nobody else in public.
Nobody? Katrina? Okay, so before we close the meeting, I'd just like to make a couple of comments about a few things. First is that we seem to be getting a lot of people at town hall. One day last week we had 240 people in town hall, and we are here from probably 8, 9 in the morning till 4 or 5 in the afternoon. But we're only opening the doors from 11 to 3, 4-hour period to kind of minimize the in-person contact that we have with people for our own benefit and for the benefit of the public. But 240 people in a 4-hour period seems to be a lot to me. So unless you really, really have to be in town hall to pick up some kind of permit from the town clerk's office or from the building department, but other than that, most things can be handled either by phone. We return the phone calls every single day, or through email. So in case you're not aware of this, COVID is ticking up, and New Windsor, yesterday we were the number 3 municipality in the county as far as high positives. So today we dropped to 4. So out of 40 municipalities, we're 4. So one is Palm Tree, KJ, and then Newburgh City comes in, and then the city of Middletown comes in, and then we come in. So we definitely are having some kind of uptick here, and I'm concerned about that if we do come up with some people in town hall coming down with this, that I'd probably have to shut down town hall and there'd be no access. And I'm really, really nervous about the police department. If we get it back there, then we're going to have a difficult time providing the service. So I'm just asking that if you don't have to come, try and do it by phone or by mail. And we certainly will accommodate anything that we have to do to do that. But this is ratcheting up, and now the governor's coming out with some things when schools are back in session, and if it gets to be 9%, he's going to close the school, not the district, but the school. So we're very closely watching what's going on with the COVID, and we are very concerned about it. So the budget, we kind of had a sense back in February, the town board, that we talked about it, and we realized that this was not going to be a normal year. Our revenue stream has been cut a lot, and most of it has to do with the sales tax. We used to get some very healthy sales tax mostly from Woodbury Commons, and we planned on that because the COVID didn't come until after the budget was established last year. So we are struggling to keep the taxes down as much as we possibly can. We have spoken to our union members who are our unions who are representing our members, both the police department, the PBA, and the CSEA, who's representing the clerical workers and the highway and buildings and grounds. And we're asking them for some concessions, kind of waiting to hear back from them. That will definitely have an impact on the budget. And we have cut this budget as much as we can. The town board had been discussing. They now have a copy of the budget, and they have a month to look at it. And the budget will be posted online tomorrow. So if anybody wanted to go online and look at it, and if you have any comments, you could certainly call my office, or you contact any of the board members and make your comments and let us know what you think. So we really are struggling to keep this down. And where we are right now is, I think we're at a point where the 2 funds, actually 3 funds that are paid by everybody in town, the 2 big ones are the general fund and the highway fund. So those are paid by every resident in town. Everybody does not have a water bill, everybody does not have a sewer bill, everybody does not have a garbage bill, but everybody gets a general fund and a highway. And right now, that is about at a 4.9% increase as we live and breathe. So we'll see where we're going on that. I mean, the controller's office, Jack Finnegan and his staff, Dorian Casey, have been working on this pretty diligently. So we are hoping that we get the cooperation from our unions. If we don't, then it's going to be even more. So the water rates remain the same. I think the sewer rates went up like $1 a quarter, which is $4 a year. And the one that I'm really looking at is the ambulance fund, and that's the whole town pays the ambulance fund. Right now, it's about the average homeowner, maybe $50, $60 for the year. That's the whole tab. So I'm kind of recommending to the town board that we take that up to 75 cents, because this is not the New Windsor Volunteer Ambulance Corps anymore. This is the New Windsor Emergency Services Unit. And when they show up at your house or your business, they have a paramedic or they have EMTs on board, and they will be able to provide some aid to you that will give you a chance to survive. And they have already, in the short time that I've been here, the 9 months, they have saved a countless number of lives by getting them stabilized and getting them to the hospital. And I just think that their payroll is $15,000 a week. So take the volunteer away. We have volunteers there, thank God, but we also have the paid members who are the professionals, the EMTs and the paramedics, and those other folks who are volunteers, they're just volunteering their time. And without them, we'd be in worse shape. So I think we really need to kind of kick them up a little bit to make sure that we keep providing that service. We have other towns who keep using us as a backup, and we charge them when we go there. So if we run a call in, say, Cornwall, we charge them $300 or $600, depending on what is it, ALS or BLS. So it's getting very difficult to find volunteers anywhere, your fire departments, your ambulance corps. And so that's one of the things I've asked the board to look at, that take that up from $50 a year to $75 a year for the average home. Just a little education on the tax bill. When you get your taxes, and people obviously talk about the bottom line, how much am I paying? That's what I want to know. And I kind of understand that. But how it's structured is about 70% of your tax bill goes to the local school district. We don't see it. And about 15% of that tax bill goes to the county. That leaves 15%. That's what we deal with. We are dealing with 15% of your tax bill. So it's something that a lot of people don't quite understand, because they get an increase in their mortgage and it's $20 a month or $30 a month, and they kind of think that we're having the taxes going up here. Fortunately for Newburgh, fortunately for us this year who are in the Newburgh School District, our Newburgh School District taxes are going to go down a little bit because the city of Newburgh has increased their assessments. So there's been more property sold in the city of Newburgh, and their assessments have increased. Once your assessments increase, there goes your school taxes, they increase too. So it's just kind of like a complicated process, and most people are trying to keep their life in order and the ball in the air, not concerned about who's getting what. They just want to know, how much am I paying? So I just wanted to put that out there. We're still looking at the budget, but this doesn't look like a great year, and 2021 hopefully will be better, and hopefully we'll get some cooperation from our unionized members. The other members, the elected officials and appointed people, they're getting no raise. So I think we're trying to do our part to keep the taxes down, and we'll see where we're going. But once again, about 15% of your tax bill goes to the town. That being said, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, adjourn the town board meeting at 7:43 p.m. Motion?
Moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Madeti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Thank you all.
Thank you.
You want me to sign some of this stuff now? Or you want to do it tomorrow? No?
That's fine.
All right, guys.
Okay, we'll talk to you.